New homeless shelter near prospective buy? My husband and I were looking at buying some new builds by a major national homebuilder. We fell in love with two of the homes. This morning, we drove past and across the street. There were a bunch of people in the dirt lot with signs that read groundbreaking event for new navigation center. We were bummed. I'm very inexperienced in this field, so my questions are: 1. Would it be a bad idea to still buy this house knowing there is going to be a homeless shelter the next block over? They said there won't be any lines forming every day or loitering as beds will be pre-assigned. 2. Will this lower the prices of the new build? They are currently going for anywhere from low $400,000 $500,000. 3. Will this have a huge impact on property values in the future? Thank you in advance. Update 1. To answer some questions about what type of homeless shelter it is. It will be a low-barrier shelter focused on moving people towards permanent housing. Most residents will stay for 90,180 days, so they will not be kicked out in the morning. It will be staffed 24/7 and have multiple services such as case management, employment training, substance abuse and mental health services, etc. There's supposed to be a van to help transport. For security, it seems there will be a 6 concrete wall and cameras. I'm not sure if they'll have anyone patrolling. 2. We just learned they are also building low-income housing in the lot adjacent to the shelter. 3. I am aware there's a need for these services. I volunteer at the local kitchen, so I know many are not bad people. My husband and I both grew up exceedingly poor. My parents' neighborhood, however, has been inundated by the homeless in the past few years. Unfortunately, so she'll have people sleeping in her bushes, pooping there, random people knocking asking for things, or things getting stolen from the yard. I have 2 young kids, so we will not be moving forward. This is possibly the largest investment of your life. Don't risk it. Homeless shelter is a big deal breaker for many people. I wouldn't buy it. You always have to think of resale value and who would buy it from you. I have a family member who had a homeless shelter built next to their house after they bought it. Everything you think that could be wrong with it is. They have drug deals on their block now. Weird people knock on their doors at night. And no one will buy it. I wouldn't look twice at that house. As someone who purchased a house 3 doors down from a soon-to-be homeless shelter that wasn't disclosed to me, I strongly recommend against moving forward. I would never have purchased that house if I'd know. I rent it out now and live elsewhere. There are studies that it reduces your property value by 6. Even if the shelter is managed well, they may not be capable of managing the situation that develops around the shelter. I've witnessed this firsthand. I live in Hawaii. Trust me, you don't want a homeless shelter nearby. There will be so much trash, noise, and loitering. Homeless people literally have nowhere to go, nothing to do, and nowhere to be. As a result, they will spend most of their day loitering around outside the shelter. Your neighborhood is going to be filled with homeless people, their associates, their dealers. Run, do not walk away from this house. Location, location, location. Buying in this area would be a huge financial mistake. Yes, it is a bad idea. Do not buy this. Used to live near a missionary that would hand out free meals every day and attract a bunch of homeless people. Besides drug use and trash, there was a lot of aggressive panhandling. If you buy this place, be prepared to be confronted frequently for spare change. Hard pass. I live next to a few homeless shelters. They come through my yard, through my house if I leave the back door open, through my car if I forget to lock it. Get comfortable with carrying a handgun if you buy that house. Somerville, MA. I wouldn't buy it. Nope. Unless you want to rake needles from your front yard every autumn. Homeless shelters absolutely drag down the quality of the area. Crime goes up. Trespassing goes up. Drug use goes up. It's all correlated. I definitely would not consider those homes. Don't do it. Everyone talks a good game about wanting to help the less fortunate until it is their house and money on the line. Don't let people make you feel bad about that. It is what it is. I wouldn't do this deal either. I wouldn't buy it. Stats show that crime will go up and property value will go down too. They said there won't be any lines forming every day or loitering as beds will be pre-assigned. Allow me to lol. They will say whatever they can. Words are blown with the wind. The truth is that the area will unavoidably degrade to an infinite extent. And anything they said won't happen will. 100. With all certainty. Happen. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I would never in a million years. I wouldn't buy anything near one. At the minimum your Amazon packages will go missing. Negative ghostwriter, pattern is full. I would walk instantly. Unfortunately, having some, not all of the homeless community around is a bad idea. I would never feel comfortable having my children or so outside. Massive dealbreaker. In most parts of the country, having a homeless shelter nearby means that instead of having to worry about your neighbor's dog poo in your yard, you'll have to deal with methed out human poo in your yard. Stay away. I don't know which city you're in, but if it's on the West Coast, the city will simultaneously let them shit on your property and raise your property taxes. Cut your losses and move on. Or use this information to lowball them another 30. Whoever told you there won't be loitering should not be trusted. I can't guarantee there will be loitering, but it's very likely. How can they be sure there will be no loitering? Are they going to bus people away from the homeless shelter every day? Are they planning to set up booby traps for anyone that loiters outside? Not a good idea. My husband patrols an area around a shelter. He responds to fights and attempted burglaries all the time. Move on. Crime will skyrocket in that area. You don't want to deal with that mess. Drugs. Shit everywhere. Lovely piss smell, yum. Property crime through the roof. Yay. 1. Yes. 2. Yes. 3. Yes. Once you live in the house, you'll have to deal with it every day. Don't let your standards slip because there don't appear any other options. Also, if you're in California, just leave. They built a casino a mile away from the cozy home I grew up in and the city went to absolute dog shit. I left the state entirely and haven't regretted it once. Don't fund your own oppression. I would lowball the developer if you really love the house, otherwise walk. Personally, I wouldn't live near the shelters. They are nothing but headaches. Trash, crime, feces, drugs, etc. 1. Depends on your tolerance for having homeless people hanging around. Doesn't matter what they say about beds being pre-assigned, how are the homeless people getting to and from the shelter? Unless the shelter is busing them all over the place and dropping them someplace else during the day. They're likely doing so on foot and staying in the area. 2. May not lower the prices the builder is charging. Will probably lower resale value. 3. It'll probably start having impact pretty much immediately. No one wants to live by a bunch of homeless people, dude. However, it may sound a homeless shelter is going to come with a lot of drama and at least drugs. I'm not sure what's worse, paying $500,000 for a production builder house or living near a homeless shelter.